Alright guys, welcome to my first ever PSA submission return. This is actually my first time ever grading any sort of cards. I sent these out a couple months ago. I think it was mid-December-ish, so finally got them back. Takes a little bit longer to get these back into Canada, but finally I was able to get some of them. I've teased this one quite a few times on my Instagram if you haven't followed it. If you're not following, be sure to do so, but I think, yeah, the grades are covered. So we'll leave this one for last. This is probably the holy grail of the set here. Of course, that is the Charizard Gold Star. So we'll leave that one for last. I'll kind of put it in the back for now. We'll reveal the grades at the end. I think all the grades are covered. I haven't seen any of them yet, so they'll be a surprise to me as they will be to you. We kind of got a mix of cards that are kind of a mix of like the ultra modern stuff. There's a bit of mid-era, some vintage stuff. I think there's a couple of the old WOTC cards, the Wizards of the Coast, for those that don't know Pokemon super well, like the ones from the late 90s, early 2000s. Anyways, won't yap too much. Let's get to them. I don't even know which ones are or what order they're in. Okay, so right off the bat, this is a card in the style of the new ones. So it's, of course, the 25th anniversary classic collection from Celebrations, I believe the set is called. So this is, of course, the retro looking Venusaur, but this is a 2001 card, as you guys can see there. I just thought this card looked good, so I sent it in. It's not, I don't think it's worth too much, ungraded or graded. But 3, 2, 1. Starting things off with the Gem Mint 10. Minty Venusaur. That is super cool. Of course, unfortunately, it isn't the OG, but starting things off with a 10. That's awesome. I don't know if I'll be putting up the prices on screen. I know most people that do these returns kind of put them up, but that kind of dates the video because, of course, prices go up, they go down. So I don't know if I'll be doing that. I might total everything up at the end just to kind of have a number, maybe for the thumbnail or something, but I don't know if I'll be putting them up each and every time just because prices change unless you're watching this like the day of release or whatever. But yeah. Next up, we're going from, well, I guess that wasn't really classic, but we're going to pretty modern stuff. This is from Crown Zenith. It is the final Sword and Shield set. This came out late 2023. Very awesome card. Finally got super appreciated last couple months now. I think raw, this card is currently worth around, I'm going to be using Canadian prices because I'm not going to be able to convert them on the fly, but it's around like 300 Canadian. And in a 10, I think it's quite a bit more. I just thought my copy looked super minty when I pulled it. I actually pulled this on stream, I'm pretty sure. So most of these, you might, if you were watching them on stream, you might remember me unboxing them. I'm going to try not yap too much because most of you guys just want to see the grades. So let's check out this one. Another Gem Mint 10. That is awesome. That, like, out of most of the cards, I think this one is, when I submitted this, I'm like, this has to be a 10. It just looked so clean. Ooh, that's a good one to get a 10. That's a pretty spicy card. That's definitely, I think, close to $1,000 in a 10. Super cool. Okay, 2 for 2. We'll see what the gem rate is. For those that don't know, gem rate's kind of just your percentage of, out of all the cards you submit, what you get in a 10. I know for sure some of these aren't going to get 10s because they're just like older vintage cards, so it's just really hard. Like, if some of the cards, if they got 10s, they'd be several thousands of dollars, but so I'm not expecting to get 10 on all of them is kind of my point. This is an awesome card. Again, this is actually a promo card in English for those that don't know. These came in a box set. I think I submitted Vaporeon and a Jolteon. I actually ended up, here, I have it behind me. I ended up just buying the Flareon. So I didn't grade this myself. I ended up just buying it. But yeah, so in that set, there's obviously 3 of them. There's the Vaporeon, Jolteon, and Flareon. So I'm just like still super excited from those earlier grades. So yeah, so I didn't submit the Flareon because I think out of the 3 I had, the Flareon was kind of weak. It wasn't super well centered. But I think the Vaporeon and the Jolteon are pretty good. So hopefully we get another. Oh, 9. That's tough. These are extremely hard to grade from what I understand. I thought this was a pretty strong candidate. So unfortunately, I don't know. I guess there's a little bit of whitening on the back in the corners. I don't remember seeing those when I submitted them, but yeah, I don't know if you guys can see it. There's a little bit of whitening in the corner, so I can see why I got a 9. But I don't remember that being there when I submitted it, but obviously it was. I don't think they would have put little white dots on the cards after they got submitted. Unfortunate, we'll put it in the 9 pile, but let's press on. They can't all be 10s. They can't all be 10s. All right. Let's see this one. Has a little bit of whitening, so I wouldn't be surprised if this is another 9. But let's see. An 8. Ooh, that's tough. That's tough on that one. That one might even be worth just cracking out of the slab. Pretty much for those that don't know, if in modern cards, if it's not a 9, honestly, if it's not a 10, it's almost worth cracking out. But 8, that's a bit tough. Centering's really good. I think on the back, I see a little bit. Well, I don't know. Tough to say how that got an 8. I see a little bit of whitening in the corners, but that's a tough one. Hopefully we go on the upswing from here. All right, next up. Mew, so this is a promo from the UPC, the Ultra Premium Collection. Came with Mew, Mewtwo, and a Metal Mew card. So I think this is only one. I bought a bunch of the boxes when they were cheap last year at some point. So I had a couple of these, but I think this was the best out of the set. Looks pretty good. I think when I brought it to the when I did the submission, it was still in its like plastic. So actually, like I took it out of the plastic, put it right into a sleeve to submit it. An 8. Oof. That's not good on that one. The unfortunate thing about PSA is they don't really tell you why stuff got the grades that they did. That's got to get cracked open. I don't know. What do you guys think? That looks decently centered. It's a little chonky on the right side, but other than that, centering looks pretty good to me. I see a little bit of whitening, but maybe I'm missing something. Dang, 2 8s. That's rough. I think both of those got to get cracked open. All right, moving on. So this is one that I'm definitely not getting a 10. I just submitted this because this is really a cool card. It's actually a Game Boy promo. This is a promo from 2000. I don't remember exactly how you got this, but I bought this actually when I was visiting Nathaniel Bandy. For those that don't know, my pal. We just went to a game store and they just had a bunch of cool cards, and I think I paid not a lot for this card, but it's just a cool card. It's not getting a 10. But I just thought it'd be cool to slab. A 5. Okay, that's lower than I thought it was going to get. But yeah, so vintage is really tough to grade. So hopefully it gets better from here. But it's just a cool card. I wanted to encase it. That's kind of for most of these cards. I don't think I'll be planning on selling most, if not any, but we'll see. Okay, so this is another one from my childhood. I don't know what this one's going to get. I have no clue. Another promo, I believe. Yeah, promo. I think this is from a tin. This card's gone way up in price recently, though, because it is from 2006, so it is pretty old at this point. But it's just a cool Rayquaza card. I have no idea what to expect. I thought it was pretty good. This is another card that it was like, oh, I see whitening. It's not going to get a 10, but I thought it was cool to case this up just to protect it long term, I guess. An 8. Okay, you know what? That's pretty good for that era of card. I can't complain too much about that. I think like to get an 8 in like a vintage, unless you're 100% certain it's like minty. An 8's not bad. For that one, that's pretty good, I'd say. Obviously, I would have wanted higher, but I'll take an 8. Ooh, I'm scared about this one. So this card is very valuable for those that don't know. Just any evolution usually commands a pretty high price, and this is, I think, one of the highest ones from Unseen Forces back in the day. Almost a 20-year-old card at this point. One of my favorites. It's just such a nice card. When I submitted this, I thought it looked pretty good, all things considered. For how old it is, I see a bit whitening, so I'm going to assume it's going to get like a 7 or an 8. Let's see. 7, okay. I'll take that. It does look a little bit more, has a little bit more whitening than the Rayquaza, but still such a clean card. I think a 7 is still worth slightly more than ungraded, so we'll take that. Obviously, would have wanted higher. I think, obviously, again, this is my first time submitting these cards, I think going forward, I think most of these, they're just like childhood cards that I have attachment to that I just wanted them kind of protected. But I think if I ever do submissions in the future, I'll be a little bit more stringent with what I send in. So yeah, this has a little bit of whitening, so I'm going to assume like a 6 or 7. So I love the old Feraligatr and the Blastoise. So this one from Unseen Forces and Blastoise from Fire Red Leaf Green. They kind of have that both similar style, both very cool. A 6. Okay, so see, I'm getting better at kind of predicting the grades, I guess, relative to what the other cards were. Decent for a 20-year-old card. I mean, I can't complain too much on that stuff. All right, next up. So yeah, okay, this is a Blastoise. I don't know what it's going to get. I remember pulling this, like, yeah, 20-ish years ago. So I just have fond memories of this. I just wanted to have it protected more than just having it, like, in a binder kind of thing so I can display it or whatnot. Yeah, just fond memories with this guy. So no matter what, even if I got a 1, I'd be I'd be fine with it, but I just have good memories with it. I'm gonna guess, I don't know, like a 7 or an 8. Let's see. 7. Okay, I guess that's pretty comparable to what was the other card that got the 7? The Espeon. Nice card. Again, like if this wasn't a 10, but if it did, like if I did have a 10, like a Gem Mint 10 of this, it would have been several thousand. So I don't think I wasn't expecting getting that high. I think I would have liked an 8 at least, but I'll take a 7. It's still near mint, so that's nice. All right. Another, so I guess we just have like all the mid-era stuff kind of grouped together. So the Tyranitar, this isn't a promo, it's actually from a Pop Series 1. So these are kind of packs. I think they had 1 or 2 cards each per pack. So these were pretty difficult to pull. I can't remember how much this card is worth in particular, but I'm assuming that they're all kind of going to be in that same ballpark. Actually, this one looks a little cleaner. This one, I would like an 8. Just based on the back, I think an 8 would be a 6. Oof. Maybe something on the front wasn't as clean. I'm not sure how good relative a 6 is for this. I thought for sure. I just looked at the back and there wasn't a lot of whitening. But maybe there's something else that I can't see to the naked eye. But kind of disappointed with that one. I wanted a little bit higher, but I guess we'll see what the prices are on for that. Still good for, again, these cards are like 20 plus years old at this point. We started off really good with the 10s. Unfortunately, our piles are growing on the sides here. Shining Mewtwo. So now we're kind of going into the even more vintage stuff. Now I'm kind of worried about all the vintage ones, just based on how aggressive they grade, for better or for worse. But 2002. So I see already some whitening. Again, I think this card, regardless of what you grade, I think anything 5 or higher will be good for value. But this card, I remember how much I paid for this card back in the day. I don't think it was much. A small percentage of what it's worth now. A 7. I'll take a 7 on that. That is a nice card. I'm kind of surprised because I think this one has quite a bit more whitening than the Tyranitar did. Like I can see a lot more whitening on the back. But that's for a 20-whatever-year-old card. That's not bad. Not bad at all. Dark Blastoise. Okay, so I guess all the vintage and mid-era stuff got clumped together. I don't think I submitted too much modern, so I guess it is mostly going to be like more vintagey stuff. Again, for those that don't know, vintage is a lot harder to grade because it's a lot easier to get scratches on the holo. Like even if you just put them in like a binder or sleeves, just the holo can get scratched a lot easier, and that really can knock the grade down a little bit. Can we get an 8? A 7. Okay, so it looks like vintage. It looks like 7s are kind of where most of them are at. This one was a really clean copy. I'm kind of almost surprised. Centering was really good, so I don't know what they... I'm even looking at like the holo. It's like it's not... I don't see scratches at all, so they must have been really aggressive on something. There's theories that I don't know how true they are. I don't think they're true, but I think people believe that PSA kind of almost gatekeeps the higher grade stuff for the vintage stuff just because they're worth so much. They don't want too many cards being higher grades. Again, I don't know if that's true or not, but that's kind of what I've heard. These are also really hard to grade. So the tag team stuff, just because of the borders, you can't really see the full border on this one, I guess. But I guess they're more so on the Pokemon. But the centering for these usually is pretty tough to see. But I thought this one was pretty good. Awesome card featuring red and blue. A 10. Oh no way. That is good. That is a good 10 to get. I think if there were like any cards that were good to get 10s, it was for sure, I think, these two. At least these two. That's solid. Red and blue and a 10. That is really good. I mean, it's only like a 6-year-old card at this point, but still. That is a good card to get in a 10. Okay, our 10 pile grows. Let's see if we can get another one. This is another awesome card to get in a 10. I think this is like top 10 most expensive trainers or top something most expensive trainers. Definitely an expensive card, even raw. An 8. Ooh, that's tough. That's tough. How do they... I really wish they gave you a report on why they gave a certain grade. Like, I'm sure if I resubmitted this, it might get a higher grade. I don't know how that got an 8. I guess centering the top is a bit skinnier than the bottom, so that might offset it from a 10, but an 8? It's a little rough on that one. I thought for sure a 9 at least, but... All right, these two. So I have a couple of Japanese cards. I think it's just these two. So I actually ended up buying... So they're all CD promos is what they're called. I just really like them because they feature like the original Ken Sugimori art. And they're the only cards, I believe, that feature the art of the trio evolutions from Gen 1 that has the art that's on the box art for the games too. So they're really cool. These actually I did have slabbed in like a no-name grading company. So this one originally had, I believe, a 9 in the other grading company. I don't know if it'll be a straight across. That'd be cool if it was. Because when I bought this, I bought it on eBay. I got the Charizard was PSA graded, and then the Venusaur and the Blastoise were in the no-name company. So I cracked these out of their old slabs. I just wanted them all to be in the same one, in the same kind of style. So if we can get a 9, that'd be awesome, but 6, brutal. It drops it down by 3. That's kind of crazy. That's kind of insane. But yeah, I don't know. Again, they say it's harder to grade vintage stuff, harder and harder, and this went right from a slab. That wasn't, again, the other company might have had different grading standards. So that's a little disappointing. But I'm keeping it for myself. I'm not planning on selling it, but it did kind of lose a lot of value by dropping to a 6. So I don't know. This is the Blastoise. So this one originally was an 8 in the other company. At this point, it's probably just gonna get another 6. Be cool if it got a 7 or an 8. We'll see though. An 8? Okay, that's kind of insane. Okay, I mean, so this got the same grade. I like Blastoise more, so I'm happy that this got an 8. That's kind of crazy that this was a 9. This was an 8, so this retained its grade. This went down by 3, and this ended up being higher than it was before. But again, I guess PSA is all about subjectivity to whoever's grading it, so maybe they saw something more in this card than they did in the other one. But I'll take an 8 in that one. Like again, that's our like for vintage we haven't gone higher than an 8, so I guess 8 is our kind of ceiling for that. I'm scared for this card. Whew. Okay, so this I thought was a minty copy. I think I also pulled this either on stream or back when I did unboxings. It's a 10 or bust for this card, but it's just such a cool card. I'm just gonna do it. 10, let's go. Oh, there was like, again, there's a couple cards in the stack that I was like, they have to be 10s. This was one of them. Oh boy, that's tough. I'm happy. Like it's tough because it's worth so much that it's hard. Now it's like, oh, it's like, I don't want to hang on to it just because it's worth so much. But I remember pulling this. I have fond memories of getting it, so I think it's going right into the collection. That's so nice. Okay, our 10 pile grows. Unfortunately, it's not the highest pile out of all of them yet, but we still have like 8 cards to go, so we'll see what we got next. Okay, so we got some more vintage. I'm kind of scared now. So I submitted 2 of these Shining Gyarados. I remember buying both of them. I bought them at a flea market. It had to have been like mid-2000s. I think I bought them for less than $10 each. Each of these is worth like $400 now. One was definitely better than the other. Okay, they're back to back. I just want to see, yeah, so back to back. I just want to see which one. One was definitely cleaner than the other copy. And I think slightly centered better. Now looking at them again, they kind of look pretty comparable. So maybe they'll end up getting the same grade. Let's see. 6. That's tough. That's a tough one to get. Hopefully the other one gets a 6 or higher. So I don't know. This kind of dissuades me from grading vintage cards, because honestly, like both of these I think were super clean. They have a little bit of whitening. So I wasn't expecting 10s, but I think they have the same level of whitening as some of the more modern stuff, like the Vaporeon or whatever. So that's kind of like, that's why it's kind of frustrating, because everything else seems so good. So I don't know what they're grading more aggressively, but let's see. Maybe this one's the better one. An 8. Okay. Interesting. So I don't know what there is different between the two. Again, I don't know what process they have of looking at the actual surface and stuff. But like the whitening was pretty comparable. If anything, I'd say the other one was better for whitening. I will not complain though. I will take an 8 on this. That is awesome. Again, it seems the 8 is our ceiling for vintage cards, but we'll definitely take that. For this caliber of card, an 8 is still pretty solid. Can't complain on that. Okay, another mid-series or mid-era, sorry, card, 2006. Almost a 20-year-old card as of when I'm recording this. Black Star, another Black Star promo. This again was from a tin. I believe I still have the actual tin from this somewhere. I'm not sure where. It's probably in my closet somewhere, but I remember getting this when I was young. Okay, if we can get another 8, that'd be awesome. 7, okay. That's, at least it wasn't a 6. I'll take a 7. Just a super cool card. We're gonna just have that protected. Next up, Dark Persian. This is so similar to that Meowth I got earlier. This was also a card I just picked up at a store randomly, and I just thought it was cool. It'd be cool to get graded. Especially now, there's like a Team Rocket set coming up as I'm recording this in a couple months. So we have the Persian, we have Giovanni. You can kind of see his eyes in the back. I honestly didn't see them when I bought this. I think I saw that later, and it's a very cool card. A 6, okay. Wasn't expecting much. It was like a raw card that's been in a binder for 20 plus years, so that's fine. It's just a cool card. I'm gonna keep saying that for all the cards that don't get a good grade. So yeah, so these are the borders I was talking about earlier. They kind of have the border around for the tag team cards. This is another promo, very cool promo. Still, I think this card's gone up in price, but I think it's still underrated compared to some of the other promos. We have both Deoxys and Espeon, I think, battling it out. It's hard to say. Like Deoxys looks like he's fighting, but Espeon just looks like just chilling, you know. But let's see what we get. A 10 would be awesome. I think I only submitted this because the centering looked really good, but they'll probably ding me an 8. Yeah, I had a feeling they're just gonna. That's tough. I have no idea why they would bring it down to an 8. Like a tiny little bit of whitening on the back, but there's like a white speck there. I don't think that's on the card though. Looks like it's off the card. I can see the shadow on the card. But an 8 on this is tough. I don't know why they would give that an 8. This one's disappointing because I don't think it deserves an 8. Obviously, everyone thinks they deserve better than they get, but I see like a tiny speck. So I would, at worst, give this a 9, but obviously I'm not a grader, so they know better than I do. All right, next. So I think this is one of the other only like ultra modern cards I sent in. I think I brought in a bunch. This is like the only one. So at the store, we kind of did pre-grading on some of the cards. I think I brought in like 50 or 60 cards, and we kind of went through them at the drop-off place, and they kind of dissuaded me from submitting some, and we kind of sent in the ones that either I thought I just wanted to case up because they have sentimental value to me, or that they looked better than some of the other ones. So I think this is one of the ones that passed the check. So I really hope we got a 10 for this one. A 9. Oh, that's tough. That's tough. I think this one was a really clean copy. A little bit of whitening, but I guess I could see that being a 9. Only our second 9 so far, which I guess makes sense because we're doing so many vintage. Okay, so this is another promo. A lot of promos I sent in. This came from a Pokemon Celebrations box. What year? 2016. So pretty old. These cards are super cool because they feature... The actual card is Blastoise, but we also have Gyarados and Vaporeon in the background for this one. So very cool Blastoise card. At this point, I have no idea what to expect. This one looks pretty clean. A little bit of whitening. But as we've been seeing, that doesn't stop them from giving us low grades. It's not a 10, and I'd be happy with an 8. A 7. Oh, that's tough. That's tough to get. That's a disappointing one. I don't know what to say. I thought it was a really clean copy. Good centering. A little bit of whitening, but it is what it is. Add that to the... Unfortunately, our biggest stack is the 7 and lower. All right, 2 more cards to go. What do we got here? A Chansey. I thought this was a really clean copy, but at this point, like I looked at all my vintage stuff. This one was pretty clean. I see a little bit of whitening on the back. I just thought the actual hollow, I thought was like scratchless. I thought it was so clean, but I don't know what to expect at this point. A 7. That's a little disappointing. But I guess kind of at this point, expected. I guess, again, this is my first submission, so it is obviously a learning experience. We didn't get a lot of 10s. Didn't get a lot of 9s either, but we got a lot of 8s and 7s. So I'll have to think about if there's some that I want to crack open. I have to do an analysis. But again, learning experience. I think for next time if I do grading, I guess I gotta be really strict myself with which cards I submit, with how much whitening and stuff they have in the corner. Because I thought maybe they have a little bit of... Because I've watched a lot of these kind of grading videos in the past, and I know that I've seen people get 10s, and I can see visually that either A, they're not super well centered, and B, they'll have like whitening in the top corners or whatever. So I thought maybe... I guess, again, depends who's grading your cards. Everyone I guess there it's all subjective. They don't have like a standardized, fully standardized process because everyone that's doing it's subjective to whoever is grading. So yeah, I think next submission I'll be very strict with which cards I submit, just to make sure we get higher gem. Our gem rate's like low. It's pretty low, but saving the best for last. We have a Charizard Gold Star. This one's not getting a 10. It's pretty clean for what it is. I think even like damaged copies sell for like $1,000 for this card. I think it's pretty clean. I think there's like a small indentation. It's very hard to see. You probably won't be able to see it in the video. Honestly, you might not even be able to see it now that it's slabbed. You might have to like actually physically hold the card to see it, but I don't even know. I think realistically, I don't think it's getting anything higher than a 6, but maybe I'll be pleasantly surprised. So this one I've actually had for a little longer than the rest of the cards because this one was upcharged or whatever. So it gets delivered a lot faster or whatever. You have to pay more, but you get it within like 2 weeks or whatever. Okay, which side is this? Actually, this is like in a sleeve. I'm gonna take the sleeve off, and that should take the thing off with it, and we can see it that way. All right, moment of truth. I'm gonna cover the grade. All right, post in the comments what grade you think this is gonna get before you actually see it. All right, 3. It's just such a nice card. 3, 2, 1. 5. Okay, honestly, that's kind of what I was expecting. I thought on the high end I'd get a 6, low end a 4. 5 is kind of in line with what I thought I was gonna get. I've had this card for so long. I think I've mentioned the story of how I got this in past streams and videos and such. But for those that haven't heard the story, I got this card. I traded a friend in elementary school, I guess 2006. It was kind of like like a class clown kind of friend. So I don't know if he half did the trade for attention or what, but I kid you not, traded me like a Mr. Noodles cup of soup. And I gave him a cup of soup. He gave me this and Pokemon Emerald for a cup of soup. Needless to say, one person definitely got the better end of that deal. But a 5 for this, for those that don't know, like 5 might seem low, but 5 for this card is still a couple $1,000. And it'll be preserved for many years to come, so who knows? It's gonna be like a family heirloom at this point. It's just such a fancy, definitely I think the most expensive card I own. And it continues to be so in a 5, I believe. All right, I don't know, I guess I'll put that in that stack. So, let's see how many we got. Like 4 10s, 2 5s, like I don't know, 8 to 10 8s, and a stack of 7 or lower. So again, it was mostly vintage stuff. I do feel overall kind of disappointed just because I was expecting a little higher for some of the lower end stuff, or the vintage stuff. But now knowing how strict they are with grading, I think I probably won't submit any more vintage. Probably gonna keep it to modern to ultra modern, kind of 2001 plus. But again, most of these are, I guess, like almost all of these are just for my personal collection, just because they have sentimental value to me. So when I was submitting them, in the back of my mind, it was always like, I don't care what they get. I just want to like be able to kind of display them and put them on bookcase or wall or better, whatever, to have them better displayed. So the money aspect of it was secondary, but obviously still it is nicer to get the higher grades. But yeah, that's that. That was the first submission. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you thought, if you'd be interested in seeing more of them in the future. I do think I will grade more. So if you guys are interested in seeing me kind of do these return videos on those, I'd be happy to do so. Hopefully next time if we do this, we'll get some, this side will be higher than that side. But yeah, very cool. Anyways, guys, thanks so much for watching. Check out some of my other videos, and I will see you in a bit. Bye-bye.